Learning English doesn't always have to feel like studying. You're about to listen to a story that helps you improve your English in the most natural way, just by following along and enjoying the experience. While you're listening, your brain picks up grammar, expressions, and sentence flow automatically. That's the power of stories. We drop one of these every day, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss one. There was something about that morning that made him feel off. He couldn't explain why. Maybe it was the cloudy sky or the way his room felt too quiet when he woke up. Or maybe it was just one of those days where nothing felt wrong, but nothing felt exactly right either. He didn't have anything urgent to do, but he also didn't feel like staying inside. So he put on his shoes and stepped outside, not really knowing where he wanted to go. The city was calm. The streets were quiet in a way that felt almost unusual. People passed by slowly, some with coffee in hand, others just walking as if they had all the time in the world. He turned into a smaller street and started walking without thinking. His legs led the way, not his mind. After a while, he found himself at the edge of a park he hadn't visited in months. He didn't come here often. It wasn't far, but it wasn't near either. It was the kind of place that didn't fit into everyday life, too peaceful, too still. But today, it felt like exactly where he needed to be. As he stepped inside the park, he noticed how green everything looked. Even though it wasn't a particularly sunny day, the trees seemed to glow. The wind moved slowly through the leaves, and there was a soft sound of birds hidden in the branches. He walked along the path, passing benches, a small playground, and a pond with still water. Then, near the center of the park, he saw it. It wasn't the biggest tree. It wasn't the most colorful one either. But there was something about it. The way it stood slightly apart from the others, with wide arms and deep roots. It had a presence, like it had seen things, like it remembered stories. He didn't know why, but he walked straight to it and sat down under its shade. The ground beneath the tree felt soft, like it had been waiting for him. He leaned back against the trunk and let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. The air smelled like earth and old leaves. Time slowed down. The noises of the city disappeared. He didn't look at his phone. He didn't check the time. He just sat there. And as he sat, something inside him began to loosen. All the small worries, all the tiny thoughts that usually filled his mind, started to fade. It wasn't that they disappeared completely. They were still there, just quieter. He watched the branches move with the wind. He watched a small squirrel run across the grass. He listened to the sounds around him, really listened. A dog barked in the distance. A bike bell rang far away. A child laughed. All these sounds came and went, and still he sat by that tree, feeling like it was the first time he'd really paused in weeks. He stayed there for a long time. He didn't do anything, didn't try to figure anything out. He just existed. And in that simple act, something shifted. He didn't feel amazing or completely fixed. But he felt lighter, like something had been taken off his shoulders without him even noticing. Later, as he stood up to leave, he touched the bark of the tree. It felt rough and strong. He didn't say anything out loud, but in his mind he said thank you. He walked out of the park the same way he came in, but the city looked a little different now. Brighter, maybe, or just more welcoming. Over the next few days, he thought about that tree. Whenever he felt stressed or tired or confused, his mind returned to that spot under the branches. So 1 week later, he went back. And again, he sat under the tree. Again, he listened. Again, he felt peace. That tree became his place. He didn't tell anyone about it. It wasn't a secret, but it was special. On the outside, it was just a tree. But for him, it was something more. It was a reminder that sometimes the world gives us exactly what we need, not through noise or action, but through stillness. He returned to the tree whenever he needed quiet. Sometimes he brought a notebook and wrote down his thoughts. Other times he just lay back and looked up at the leaves. He watched them change color with the seasons. He listened to the rain fall through them. He felt the breeze move around him like a soft blanket. As time passed, the park became part of his routine. But the tree always felt new. Every visit was slightly different, like it shared a new piece of itself with him. He didn't try to understand it too much. He just accepted it. He started noticing more trees around the city, noticing their shapes, their colors, their strength. But none felt like his tree. That one stayed special. It was his pause button, his quiet space, his reminder to breathe. He still had days where everything felt too fast, too loud, too much. But now, he had a place to go when that happened. A place that didn't need him to explain or perform. A place that just let him be. And in a world that always asked for more, that was the most peaceful thing he could ask for. While you were listening to this peaceful story, your brain was learning useful English structures, naturally and without effort. That's what makes stories powerful for language learning. Come back tomorrow for another one, and if you like this moment of calm, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Do you have a place that gives you peace?